everybody, Joseph Anderson here again. I'm actually doing a repair on a Champion cell deck unit. We're actually changing a 3/8 angle stop, 3/8 copper, and some 3/8 floats. So I'll actually go through that. I'll show you exactly what we need and actually what the unit looks like. Okay, what we have here is a Champion. It's a cell deck unit, similar to a swamp cooler, just no pads. It just has cell decks instead. If you notice, it has the cell decks actually where the water runs down, gets pumped up, works its way down. The fans inside blow the cold air, sucks in through this way, so then it actually has colder air. It's on both sides. There you go, see, on both sides. If you look inside, that's how the cell decks look. The water actually gets pumped through a pump, goes up, and works its way up on top of this and flows down like a waterfall. And then of course your fan, your blower's running, so then it takes the air from outside that comes across that cell deck, makes it colder, and goes into the building. So what we're changing out today is we're actually changing out a couple of 3/8 floats. If you notice there, they're actually in bad shape. There's one on that side and one on this side, and same thing on here. See, here's all the cell decks. It's actually like a swamp cooler, just a little bit better. Gets everything there a little colder than a swamp cooler, and you don't have to worry about the pads. So all right, so yes, there's your pumps, there's your blower, there's your motor to it, there's your belt. It's belt driven. All right, there's your other pump for this side, your other float. All right, I'll show you. And here is your inlet from your water. This is where we're going to repair, is this line here, this copper line. But this goes into your float, so when the float is, drops down, then the water starts filling up, and then once it gets to a certain level, it stops. So it's all the way across there. If you notice the copper coming around, it's got a bunch of leaks in there, so it's actually flooding the rooftop, but it goes all the way around till you hit a angle stop. So we're actually going to change out all this copper, this angle stop, and those two floats. Okay, I think the easiest way is what you do is you get a roll, 3/8 copper, and you just kind of roll it out just like this. See, if you notice the roll of copper, I just rolled it out so it's long enough. I tie in the other end first and then work your way back just like here. So then you work from the angle stop first, tie that one in first, and then you can kind of bend this where you need it to fit this one here, and then just cut it and put your compressor fitting on there. And I'll show you on the other side the compressor fitting. All right, this here is your compression fitting. All it is just, the compression fitting. You put this on first, your nut, and then you put the little spacer here in here. So then once it goes inside the pipe inside here, it actually seals it. So once you tighten it up, boom, it pulls it all in, makes it nice and tight so it doesn't leak. Same thing on that other side. Same thing. This is how they come. You can get them like this, where you have the one end. You just take that compressor fitting off of this, and if you need this adapter, need it, not, just keep it. It's actually good to keep for extensions or whatever you need. So yep, that's what we're going to do on that one first. We're going to tie that side in first, this side in first, and then work my way back. All right, to actually take off your float, it looks like this. Actually take off your float, you have a little nut back here. If you notice, you just actually have to take this one off, like this, unscrew that, like that. Take that apart, and then you actually pull from the other side. If you notice, boom, here's your old float. And we'll do the same thing. We'll actually put the new float in, tighten that up, and then we can actually add our compressor fitting copper line. Alright, I'm going to show you real quick on how to adjust these floats. You actually you pull it where you actually need it to stop. Just kind of experiment where you need it, and then this little guy right here, this little pin, you actually just tighten this up whenever you find your glitch wherever you want it. So you just kind of take it. It's kind of hard here. You just kind of take it and say, okay, you know, yeah, about right there is good. You know, you can experiment, just actually fill it up with water, see where it stops, and if it's too high, adjust, loosen this up, bring your float down a little bit, tighten it back up, and then it'll even lower your part, because you don't want it to actually overflow your pan, get into your sump, and then it goes down into your blower. So yes, that little pin right there actually tightens. See it right there? That's actually what tightens up your float, adjusts your float level. So we'll go from there. Look at it, you know, like everything else is here. It's 3/8 compressing fitting, 3/8 copper, and 3/8 float. All right. So yep, this thing's about to be ready to actually start up. I'm actually just waiting for the water to actually fill up into the sump, and also soak the pad before I actually start it up, so then it kind of gets the whole effect, because once you turn the fans on, it's going to start sucking the air through these and just start drying them up real quick. So you kind of want to let it sit maybe an hour, let just the pumps run, soak the cell decks, so then it's nice and wet, so when the customer flips that switch, it's nice and cool for them. Same thing, just let the pumps run, make sure both of your pumps are running. So there's that on that. Yeah, you just make sure your water's on, disconnects on. They have actually switches down below that I can actually control the pump or the fan. So I actually have the fan off now. Pumps are just running. So, all right, but yeah, I think this thing's gonna be actually pretty good. I tested the motor. Motor works fine. It's just water was actually leaking from the copper line, so it wasn't actually filling up the sumps to actually pump it up into your cell deck. So that part is done. So yeah, all I had to do is wait for it to actually fill up, soak the pads, and start it up. Be good to go. Put the doors back on, call it a day. So that's it for today on this one. So if you have any comments, please subscribe to my channel. Leave any comments or anything at the bottom of the page, and thank you again for watching.